thank you for joining me on this beautiful Monday. My name is Brittany Budd. I'm the creator and facilitator of this community. I'm a mindset and business coach, and I help online entrepreneurs just like you to build and scale your business to 6 figures and beyond using organic social media marketing strategies. And today I am joined with the love of my life, Syeda Neary.
Hi. Yes.
Sy.
Hi.
How
One
are you,
syllable.
boo?
I'm good. I'm excited to be here.
Thank you for being here. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody?
Okay, well, I didn't practice this, so I'm just going to go. Hi, everyone.
Oh.
Yes. Hey, y'all. I'm Sy. I am a divorce coach. I help men and women get through and over their divorce to build their bomb ass epic life. And that's it.
I love it. That's it. And you do it so well. What made you get into divorce coaching?
Well, it's not something I grew up thinking I was going to be, that's for sure. I went through my, right? Like, it wasn't in my vision board, in high school.
Right.
I went through my own divorce over 11 years ago. And through that journey, I naturally found myself supporting people from our South Asian community. And then over the years, it was just something that, I was really passionate about. There's just like so much stigma and shame around divorce, like unnecessarily. And then 2 years ago, I was sitting on a train and I was reading a book by Jen Sincero called You're a Badass. And I had like this moment, like I literally felt like this out of body experience where I felt like this calling, like I'm here to serve and do something beyond what I was doing for my day job at the time. And I mean, I'm not the most religious person, but I'm definitely spiritual. And so I felt like God was whispering in my ear, like, this is what you need to do and you need to help people. And I haven't looked back since.
I love that you just said that, because when we hear those whispers, it's very easy to just pretend we didn't hear them at all. What made you decide to listen to those whispers and start going forward in this?
I couldn't tell you exactly what it was other than in my bones. Like it was such a surreal moment for me where I'm talking about it right now and I could literally feel like getting goosebumps because it was just an instantaneous reaction, like, yes, this is it. And I was at that point in my life where I knew I wanted to give back and do something far more meaningful, like just do heart-centered work around my life. Like I wanted to matter. And of course it matters, like we all matter, but something bigger and beyond my wildest dreams. And I know when I went through my divorce, it was one of the hardest chapters of my life. Like I struggled with depression and anxiety and, suicidal thoughts and all of that. And, it doesn't have to be this hard. It sucks, but it doesn't have to be unbearable. And I'm just of the mindset that we make life much harder than it needs to be. And I want to be that light and beacon for other people that are having a really hard time in their marriage to be like, you have options. And I just feel like this is my calling. Like this is God's work. I feel like I'm doing it because it impacts so many people. There's such a massive ripple effect.
Wow, that is so powerful. So tell everyone a little bit more about who you work with. Do I have to be divorced? What if I'm just thinking about divorce? Are you going to convince me to leave my husband? What's going to happen?
Oh my God, that's such an interesting and great question because when I first started coach, so I work with men and women in any and all phases of their relationship journey. Like they might be thinking about a divorce or they're in litigation or they're already divorced. So I help them along all of those stages. Or maybe, you're in a marriage and it's a little rocky and you kind of want to maybe make it work. Like I definitely support clients in that capacity as well because I've been divorced, I'm now remarried, and I know what it takes to make a relationship work, right? But when I first started divorce coaching, I was really clear on I only want to help people that know they want to get a divorce and I don't want to convince anyone. Because when you think of a divorce coach, right, the instant thought is oh, she's just going to tell me to get a divorce. And then through this work and helping more and more clients, like I was like, you know what? No, there's so many people that are struggling with this decision. And my job is to help them, just show them their mind and like identify what their fears are. And sometimes they do decide to leave and sometimes they decide to stay. And if they decide to stay, it's like loving and owning that decision and supporting them in working through those challenges in their marriage and creating a much better relationship than they could have ever imagined.
Wow. I think this is so important, especially where we're right now in a group for entrepreneurs. Now, I know your ideal clients don't have to be entrepreneurs, but it feels like this topic of what do you do when your spouse isn't supportive in your business is something that comes up so frequently. Would you say that you have a lot of people asking these types of questions to you?
Not necessarily in the sense of like my husband isn't supportive in my career. It might be like other areas of your life. Like I think whether it's career or a different area, I think it doesn't really matter. It's just another circumstance. And I just help support my clients in learning to trust themselves and love on themselves and understand that like there's like you don't need your spouse's validation to like follow your dreams, to follow your career, to invest in coaching, to quit your job or whatever that thing is. Okay, quitting your job, you might want to have a discussion with your spouse. I think that's a respectful thing to do. But right, like just like human to human, I think that's just like common courtesy. But you don't need your spouse to believe in you. You need to believe in yourself, right? I have the most loving husband. He is supportive, but I don't need his support to believe in myself and follow through on my business goals and dreams.
Wow. I think
Yeah.
that's really empowering what you just said. And I think a lot of people could probably stand to have heard what you just said.
Yeah,
Because
I mean, it's
often,
really hard, right? Because so often we delegate our self-trust and belief in ourselves to other people. And when
yeah,
you're on this journey of entrepreneurship, there is no fucking guarantee. Can I swear?
you can swear.
Thanks.
You know you can swear.
This is true. I just felt like I had to ask. Listen, there are no guarantees. There's no guarantee in your relationship. There's no guarantee in business. The only guarantee you can offer is yourself. You are your own money back guarantee in whatever you do in your life. I feel like
Love
I'm on a
it.
TED
So
Talk right
good.
now.
No, this is so good. This is what I wanted. I wanted you to like share your passion with everybody.
Yeah, and you didn't
This
like
is
prep me with any questions. I'm like ready to go.
You're so ready to go. Okay, so you've been doing this for 2 years now.
Hmm.
Have you been on the same path for 2 years or are you finding yourself taking twists and turns and pivoting?
I will say I've pivoted, not several times. I've pivoted once, and then the journey itself has had twists and turns, but I think that's life in general. So when I first started coaching, I started relationship coaching and really just focusing on couples and working on their marriage. And then I leaned back into why I wanted to do the coaching work in the first place and was really helping those men and women. Actually, I first started coaching just women on divorce, whether they were thinking about it or, going through with it. And then about 6 to 7 months ago, I was like, hold up, there's a whole other gender that needs help. Why would I like not help them, especially when there isn't a lot of support for men in general? And so I wanted to be more inclusive before like inclusive became like this new cool thing. Like I genuinely like felt that in my heart. And so now I work with men and women, all genders, all, orientations, whether you're straight, gay, bi, whatever, like totally open to all of the things. And then that was the pivot, right? And then in terms of the twists and turns, it was more around I had an idea of how I wanted to grow my business versus like how I'm actually growing my business and like the different things that I'm learning along this journey, which I think are really, really cool.
Yeah, awesome. I'm so proud of you. So, for those of you that probably have no idea, Sai is one of my one on ones. And sadly, we're almost done our first 6 months together. And we're linking arms and going into a mastermind together.
I'm so
So,
pumped.
we've been, we're going to, you're going to blow up. You're just amazing. But we've been hanging out for quite some time now. Let's go back to like before we started working together. what was going on in your business? What were you thinking and feeling? And why did you have this nudge to start working with me?
I, in terms of where my business was before we started working together, I felt very confused. I was, as you remember, like I was struggling with sales calls. I had so much anxiety about them. I was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. I know I wanted to create 100K in my business. And I was just like, I don't know how this is going to happen. And then, just like having the belief and the faith in my own skill set and my ability to actually create a shit ton of money in my business. My husband is supportive, right? That's amazing, but he's not an entrepreneur. He doesn't understand the fucking roller coaster it is, the high highs, the low lows, and you're just like, oh my God, I need to feel my feet on the ground. In terms of just like messaging and like what to say, I was like, I think I'm great at copy. I love writing, but like really writing from a place of service and not needing clients. Like those are some of like the big things I was struggling with. And I know like I linked up in your group, like we exchanged some messages. I attended a free masterclass and you were just like so bomb ass with like just support and like zero expectations. It was amazing. I totally like connected with you. And I was like, okay, like I need to work with her. And I remember we had a call set up, a discovery call. And I was just like in this place of like, fuck the discovery call. Like I already know I want to work with her. And like you just like we signed each other like on DMs. It was amazing. And then as I was doing that, I was like, one day I'm going to sign someone through DMs. And I did. I signed someone in my DMs like 2 weeks ago. It was awesome. It's great.
It's so fun when you can just close someone in the DMs. It just saves so much time, right?
Yeah. And we got to work. I got to work 2 days after. I had the perfect amount of support that I needed for my sales calls. And like from there, like I've made so much money with you.
Yeah, you really have.
Yeah. You have the
It's
numbers too,
wild.
right?
I have some numbers. Okay. Before you worked with me, had you worked with any other coaches before or done any like courses or programs?
Yeah, I mean, I've had life coaches before you. I was in two group coaching programs, not at the same time, like as before you. I had one group coaching program that I was with. What year are we? 21. So that was like 2019. And then in 2020, I was in another program and the support was great. But I knew for me, like, even though they provided great coaching support in that container, personally for me, just my personality and my own, challenges and things like that, like, I know I needed that one on one support.
Yeah. I think that's really important to recognize when you need the group container and when you need the one-on-one. Like I have very similar story. Like I did group stuff a lot in the first stages of my business, but I knew that I really needed to have a more frequent conversation that lasted more than a handful of minutes once a month to really get answers in my business. And you and I are very similar. We like to go fast.
Yeah, sign me up. And that's also another challenge, right? It's like we want to go fast, and then when we're not getting the results, we make it mean something like our business is totally fucked or screwed, which is not true. And having your guidance through that, I'm like, okay, yeah, like, no, everything's fine. So I remember one of our sessions, you told me like everything is working. I was like, this is a thought I need to practice. So I have this post-it, everything is working, and it's like where I can see it every day because it's such a great visual reminder of like even when I feel like things might not be working, because regardless of what financial milestone you hit, it's like you're always gonna have those fears like, oh, maybe it's not working. Maybe like it's all gone to shit. And you're laughing because you know it's true.
I know it's absolutely true, and you're totally right. It does not matter where you are in business. If you've made your first $1,000, your first 10,000, your first 100,000, you still have these thoughts of, oh shit, everything is going down the toilet. It's burning to the
Mhm.
ground. What's wrong?
It's insane.
Absolutely
It's
wild.
like just the human experience, I suppose.
Yeah, our brains love to make up problems. Very annoying.
So annoying.
So, when you were thinking of hiring me, before you actually did, what hesitancies were you facing?
It's like this is a lot of money. for one person. Like I understood like okay, group, I get it, like the investment. I definitely had to overcome like my own like limited, beliefs around money. And I'm like, okay, at that time, your rate was X and now you're Y. But regardless, like the number is totally neutral. And it's just like believing in myself that no matter what, like I'm going to make my money back, even if it's not financially, like I'm going to get exactly what I need from this container with you. And I mean, of course I made a shit ton of money with you, but like I've created friendships with you and just like, it's like so many different things, like those intangibles that like you're just going to get no matter what.
That's going to be my next question. What objections did you have to overcome when it came to deciding to invest in yourself? And I love how you just talked about being like your own money back guarantee.
Yeah, I mean, that was it, right? Like having not invested that much ever before in myself. And it's funny because I've invested more now, as you know, with our mastermind. I'm like, oh my God, I had thoughts about that, right? So I know whatever that amount is, it's totally neutral. It's like, am I going to make my money back? Like, is this going to be a total waste? Like, what am I going to get out of this experience? Like, what am I going to learn? Like, what will I tell my husband if I make no money? Fuck me. And it literally came down to like, I know how to create results in my life and I can do it again and again and again. I can replicate those results because I'm the kind of woman that always hits my goals. It may not be in the timeline that I want to because, we all have instant fucking gratification, but it's going to happen because that's just the kind of woman that I am.
Yes. Get that tattooed on your forehead. That's just the kind of woman I am. Yes.
I mean, think about it. I've gone through a divorce. I am not remarried. I was a single mom for years. I had a full-time job, have a full-time job while I'm growing my business, like all of the things. I just make shit happen. And I think that's just the kind of coach you are to like see that in your clients and support them through like, yeah, like you're the kind of woman that makes shit happen. I'm going to be there for her. I got you. And like your support is like fucking priceless.
You're amazing.
Thanks. I think so too.
I know, and I'm so glad. What did you have to sacrifice to work with me?
I had to sacrifice my time, which is relative, and I had to sacrifice that initial payment or the monthly payments. That's like those are like the things you see, right?
Right.
But I don't think I sacrificed anything. Do you know what I mean? Like there's a difference between the question of like what did you have to give up? And yes, there was the time, the coaching, the commitment, and then the financial investment of what I had to give up. But if I take a step back, like I really don't think I gave up anything or I sacrificed anything. I just gained a shit ton, which I think is really cool.
I'd love to know. Okay, so you just said I gained a shit ton. What does that actually mean to you?
I've gained more confidence in myself in terms of just my selling skills and my marketing skills. I've gained more self-trust in myself. And what I mean by that is knowing, regardless of what income is coming in, what clients I'm signing or not signing, I have absolute faith that no one client is going to make or break my business and that everything is working. And just knowing that everything is working is just like that fuel to just like helping me. It's kind of like, it's really cold outside, right? And it's just like you kind of just need like that energy and the sustenance to keep you going. And I feel like having that belief in me that you helped establish and create like those neural pathways in my brain have been like I said, I've gained so much.
I love that. So you talked about being in business for 2 years now. You were divorced, now you're remarried, you have this beautiful baby, and for your culture, it's very frowned upon for you to just get a divorce for no reason. I would love for you to just like share your heart here and let everybody know why it's so important that you do this.
Do what?
Divorce coaching.
Oh, why? Yeah. Like, I don't even know if I could get the words out.
I didn't mean to make you cry.
It's really important because there are so many people out there. And this isn't me sad. This is just me feeling emotion, and I don't think emotion is a problem. There are so many people. Yeah, like it's my heart, it's my soul, right? I do what I do because I know there are so many people out there just suffering, whether they're in toxic marriages or they're just unhappy in a marriage, or they've already gotten divorced, and like the shame and stigma of divorce is keeping them from like living. And I think that we only have one life, and I think it's too short to waste it on just societal bullshit, on things that we were raised to believe around marriage. Now, don't get me wrong, I am remarried and I love the concept of marriage, but I also have zero qualms. Like, if I got divorced again, like, it would not kill me. It really wouldn't. And so that's why I do what I do, because I want to be a place of hope and inspiration and be an example of what's possible, and to help coach my clients regardless of wherever they are on that journey, knowing that they can live however they want. They can create whatever they want in their lives, regardless of what their parents have taught them, what society has taught them, whatever fucking bullshit pressures that we have ingrained. That's why I do what I do, because we live one life, and it should be on your terms. I'm going to totally have a glass of wine after this.
I'm sorry. I really did not go, ooh, I'm going to make Sai cry.
I love crying. I think crying is so therapeutic.
It is. And it shows how passionate you are about what you do. Like, I think in any niche in coaching, there's definitely a lot of coaches out there who just see people and see their circumstances and see dollar signs. And for you to get emotional when I ask you about why it's important just shows that that is not where your heart is at all. Like, this is your life's purpose. This is your mission. Like, you want to help people. So yeah. I think it's beautiful, but I didn't mean to make you cry.
It's all good. Thanks for asking that, because it's a nice reminder. You know, sometimes you just get so caught up in doing the things and being able to anchor into the why, and I think it's just always so important.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, let's move into after we started working together.
Oh my God.
Okay, so after you hired me, and like we closed this shit in the DMs and we were just like, let's go. What were your thoughts and feelings after that conversation where you were just like, okay, I'm ready, full speed ahead?
My thoughts and feelings after we're like, let's do this, was like relief. Like, yes, I have someone now. Like, I didn't feel alone anymore. I felt like I didn't have, like, it was relief. It was, I felt grounded. I felt inspired by you. And the example that you set was possible, right? Like, I always want to be learning from people that are ahead of me. And I felt gratitude for being able to get myself the support that I needed in terms of where I was in my business.
Yeah. Ooh, I love that thought.
Yeah.
That's a fun one to try on. Friends that are listening, gratitude to be able to do what I needed to do to move forward in my business. Like, whoo, yeah. That's a nice thought to try on. Tell me, what surprised you most about my process?
There was no hand holding in the sense that you gave it to me straight. I've worked with coaches that, you know, will soften shit up and like coddle you and stuff. You were there for me 100% of the time. You were there 10 out of 10 times, but you didn't have kid gloves on. Not that you ever like needed gloves, but just your straight methodical approach like was so helpful for me.
Oh, I love that. I always say, like, my number one spiritual gift is exaltation, but I am not going to be someone's cheerleader if it's not going to make them any money.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And just like you questioning me, right? Like really making me think, and I'm like, I don't know, and you're like, yeah, no, you know, and it's like really kind of helping me like see my own mind and like what my blocks were. And I think, especially like it was like several months ago where I had like beliefs around money with my family and how I grew up. Like I think that just really blew shit up for me in a beautiful way, and I've been able to make so much more money since then.
Yeah, I remember that conversation. That was an emotional one for both of us.
I promise we don't cry on all our calls.
We don't. We swear and laugh and make a lot of money. That's our main purpose.
Love it.
Tell me why you're glad that we worked together.
I'm glad we worked. Ooh, that's a good one. I'm glad we worked together because I like you as a human. I think that's really important. No, but it's really important because the person that you work with, whatever coach you work with, you want to be able to relate to them, to like them, to like resonate with them and just appreciate their journey. And I think that's like, I love that about you and about us. There's like so many things. I don't even know where to start, but I would say that's definitely very important. And then your ability to see possibility for me and holding that space for me, especially like if you remember I had all this drama about my prices, like every like 2 months, I'm like, I don't know about my price, Rudy. Maybe I should lower it. And you're like, no, don't lower it. But holding that space and really like helping me get through like that bullshit, I think was just so important.
Yeah. Tell me why it paid off for you to invest in yourself to work with me.
Why it paid off? Because I decided it paid off.
Woo!
Like it's that simple. It paid off because I said so. And what I mean by that is like so often we look for external evidence to like justify, right? To justify whether you should stay in a relationship or not, or to justify whether the money you spent on coaching was worth it. Like none of that shit matters. It was perfect. Like I justified it. It paid off because I decided it paid off. I learned so much about myself. I've like I said, my self-trust, my confidence, like my business plan and where I want to take it. Those are just like the top of the iceberg situations, right? Like in terms of examples.
You might not know this, but do you know how much money you've made since we started?
I actually don't. I was really hoping you'd have that number. I can like quickly look it up. I don't look at my numbers all the time, as you know.
Look it up.
Okay.
Look it up while I ask you this next question.
Okay.
What challenges have you overcome since we started working together?
Oh my God. Challenges, like so many. I think the first one would be just like pricing in general and not believing that people would actually pay me money or pay me how much I wanted. You know, I started off with $2,000 a month for coaching and now I'm at $3,000 in full, and like people are paying that. People want to pay me money for my coaching. And I think that is like just that thought and belief of like, yeah, of course people want to work with me. Why not? Okay, I looked it up, by the way. This is pretty cool.
Okay.
Do you want me to tell you? I've made $25,220.
In cash.
Yeah.
In 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
I know. It's so cool.
Like amazing. Because how much did you make last year? Like all of 2020?
Not that much. I'll tell you right now. I had made 12,894. So I've like doubled it in 6 months.
You doubled it in 6 months. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So now that we're talking about your results, How have these results and the other, non-monetary results that you've gotten, which because you've grown so much in
Yeah.
your confidence, in your marketing and messaging, in your ability to sell, in your pricing, how would you say that these results have impacted you and your life?
The money, just like in terms of the results around the creation of money, right? Because like money would be one result, confidence, and all of those are other results that I've created. So starting with the money and the impact of that money, I don't worry about money all the time, right? Like I know I'm going to be fine no matter what, but having the money to pay off our taxes, to pay off bills, or to my mom, just renovated their house, and to give her money to like get a dishwasher and different things around the house, like that feels amazing. To be able to provide for my family is so fulfilling, because like that's what I want to do for my family. I want to provide for them, gift them, and like donate. I think Brittany, you and I chatted about this. Like one of the things that I want to do is create a school, like for an orphanage in Pakistan. Like that's a dream of mine. And to be able to start those conversations, like, okay, like what is it actually going to take to do that? Like I can have those conversations now. Like that's part of the plan for 2021. Like that's just a human like impact, right? Of what like money can get and what I can do with this money, and to be able to reinvest in my business so I can create a $200,000 business this year. Cash.
And you're going to.
I am going to.
I know you're going to. Totally going to. Okay, what would you say to anyone that's listening right now or watching right now that's thinking about hiring me? What would you tell them?
Do it. Do it. And I'm not saying because I made $25,000, which I will probably be making much more by the time we're done. Because like, yes, you are going to create money with Brittany's help. You 100% will. Like if you show up, do the work, do what she's asking you to do your self-coaching, like hone in on your marketing and your sales and all of those. Those are skills that can be learned. Brittany taught me that. I think my copy like converts 100%. I don't do like random reach outs and shit like that. People book calls with me. They don't even like my messages or DM me. They just book a call and they pay. Right? That's just like the financial, like, okay, you're going to do this. So if it's for the money, do it for the money. But what you're going to get along the way of just doing it are things that you don't even realize about yourself that might be a gap. So like one of the things that I learned from you, Britt, and I didn't even know was a thing, was like my money beliefs around my growing up and my parents, and just like the scarcity around that. I didn't even know that was a problem until we started talking about it, right? And to be able to bust through that. What you're going to learn about yourself in terms of trying new things. Like I launched a fucking podcast. I had no idea how to launch a podcast. People will reach out to me like, hey, because I like missed a week, and they're like, is your podcast episode coming out this week? I was like, people are listening to this? I guess I have to stick with it. So there's people in the world that are waiting for my message because it's helping them, right? So my advice to anyone that's on the fence, do it. Do it because you're going to have an impact on whatever result you create. That money you create, you're going to impact humanity. The result that you create, you're going to impact your self-worth, your confidence, your beliefs. Just the life that you want has to start with the belief that you deserve it and you're your own money back guarantee, especially when it comes to investing and coaching. No one can do it for you.
Wow. So good. I love it.
Thanks.
Do you have any other pearls of wisdom that you'd like to share?
Yeah, it's scary. Entrepreneurship is scary. There's no guarantee, right? Like we don't know what's going to happen, but you also totally know what's going to happen because you're in control of your results. And anytime you either invest in your business or you go try a new thing, like creating a podcast or creating a course or whatever that is, your brain is going to fear it and resist to it. And that's just your brain functioning as a normal brain. And that's just what brains do, because your brain wants you to stay exactly where you are because it's safe. But do you really want to live a life that's safe, or do you want to live a life that's exceptional?
So powerful.
I'm in the camp of an exceptional life. That's what I help my clients get to, an exceptional life. And I know, Britt, for you, like you're all about helping your clients do the same. So
Yeah.
just go do it.
So good. Sai, how can people find you?
Oh, yeah. So I'm on Instagram. I'm at Cy, the divorce coach. I'm on Clubhouse, which I'm like trying out. So if y'all are on Clubhouse, like follow me. I'm going to be testing this out at Syeda, Neary. And I have a podcast. It's called Happily Divorced and Thriving. So take a listen, leave me a review, subscribe, do all of the things. And for more information, just go to my website, www.cythedivorcecoach.com.
Amazing. After this loads, would you be so kind as to go to the comments and drop all of your amazing links?
Yeah, 100%.
Perfect. All right. Thanks so much for joining me tonight.
This was fun.
It was super fun. I so appreciate you taking the time to talk to me and talk to the audiences and just sharing some of your story.
Yeah, my pleasure. And if anyone is struggling in their relationship, you can do the hard things, whatever they are. I believe in you.